Hi, it's Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I thought I would make our JackSepticEye out of Rainbow Loom bands. Now, we have two versions. I have the little flat applique version, which is like this. You can actually sort of hang a little hook on the end here and make it like a little keychain thing or whatever. So this is our first one, which we're going to do today, the flat one. Then I'm also going to do a tutorial on the 3D one, and we'll do that as another tutorial, so that then you have sort of both options. But there we go, this is going to be our JackSepticEye. Let's get started with this little one. This little one is quick and easy. You're going to start by doing a magic ring. Now you can do that on your loom using a single peg here, or you can do it on your hook, the magic ring. I'm going to do it on my loom just to get started. We're doing a magic ring of 6, but you still have one band that you're going to do as your main one to start with. So placing, if your loom is facing with the open part away from you, place your band on. You're going to wrap it around once, twice and 3 times. So you have 3 little loops here, okay? So when you're actually twisting it round, you pop it on, that's number 1. Twist it, that's number 2. Twist it again, that's number 3. All right? Poking your hook down, we've got 6 other bands here. We're going to poke our hook down through the hole, grab our first band and take one over the other and make a little slip knot. Let's get you a little bit closer so you can see, shall we? Let's try and do that. There we go. So there, that's our first one. You're then going to budge that around on your peg so it's sitting a little bit away so that you can push your hook down to do the next one. Now, I do have a whole playlist of all the different band stitches that you can do, a playlist that includes the beginner's guide to Loomigurumi. It will show you how to do a decrease, how to do an increase, all the stitches that we've worked out how to do with loom bands instead of with yarn will be on that playlist. Have a look at that if you haven't already, because if you're going to start a project doing Loomigurumi, you really need to know our terminology and how we do the stitches before you get started. Alright, so let's take that off our loom. Now, spread these around so that it's a magic ring, not a magic semicircle. You don't have to do your magic ring on your loom. You can do a hook. If that's easier for you, that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to use 12 blue bands. Now I'm using, these are the jelly blue, because I wanted to be able to have a sort of jellyish look to it, like a bit of a gory eyeball. So I'm on my last stitch here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is on my hook. I'm going to push my hook through that first stitch, and with my blue band, this is going to be my first stitch for my next round. I pull it through, and because I'm changing colour, I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I add that loop to it, the black loop, okay? I'm going to reclaim my end of my band, so it's all sitting there on the blue band, and I'm going to put one over the other. That's like a slip stitch, and I'm going to put my stitch marker here. I use my stitch marker to mark the first stitch in a round, not the last stitch. I like to know where my first stitch is. Now we're doing an increase, which means that we do 2 single crochets in each stitch. Well, we've done a slip stitch in the first stitch, so we're going to do its second stitch as a single crochet. So your band, pull through, one over the other, and join those together like so. So that's your 2 stitches in here, okay? We're going to go into the next one, the next stitch, and we'll do our first single crochet, and then we'll go through again and do a second single crochet. And we'll do that in the 3rd stitch as well. And in the 4th stitch. Jelly bands are funny to work with. So this is the jelly ocean blue from Rainbow Loom, and I'm going to be using the jelly green from Rainbow Loom as well. I do have a lighter jelly green which is from Rainbow Braid, so I might do it as a 2-tone to see how that looks on my 3D one, but not for this one. So that is my 12th, and we can count that. When you're doing a colour change, that slip stitch, this little bit here at the front, that is not a stitch. This is your first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 is on our hook. We're going to change to our green. It's almost like an apple green, isn't it? Again, we're changing colour. So we're doing a slip stitch. Go through that first stitch where your stitch marker is. Pull your green band through and add the blue loop to it. You're adding that in and doing a slip stitch and moving your stitch marker to your first band. Now what we're going to do, we did an increase for this. We're doing a single crochet followed by an increase. This slip stitch is going to be our first single crochet. We're going to count that as our first one. So we're moving to the second stitch to do our increase. So that's 1 single crochet, and now let's do our second. 2. Now we do a single crochet, and then we do an increase in the next stitch. 1 and 2. A single crochet and an increase. A single crochet and an increase. Single crochet and an increase. Single crochet, and can you see this is our last stitch here, this little blue one? We're going to do an increase. Oops, come on, here we go, 1 and 2. Now again, this was our slip stitch where we actually have our stitch marker is our first stitch. So we leave this slip stitch bit alone. See, it's going at a different angle. It's not going around. It's going. So we leave that alone. We're going through our first stitch, which is here. And we don't need to do a slip stitch this time because we're not changing colour. So it's just a normal single crochet, like so, and move your stitch marker. Okay. Now what we're going to do is 2 single crochets followed by an increase. So that was our first single crochet. Let's do a second in the second stitch, and in the third stitch we do our increase. 1 and 2 and a single and another single and an increase. 1 and 2, and then we'll do our 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, an increase. One, 2 and an increase. 1 and 2, and we'll do an increase here. One and 2, and we'll do an increase on the last stitch. Now I can see right away with the jelly bands it tends to curve a little bit, whereas this one is nice and flat, but I think once it settles down it'll be fine. It'll settle down a little bit and relax. But you can just pull it out a little bit if you want to make it a bit flatter. I actually don't mind the curve. I think it looks quite good. Now, to tie off, you're going to push your hook through that first stitch, and we're going to do a capped band. Instead of just putting a single band through, we're going to take a single band and stretch it on itself into a figure 8 like that. And we're going to pull. I'm going to take my stitch marker off. And it's a bit tricky. I'm going to pull it through the first stitch like that. I'm going to add that loop to it, okay, and then I'm going to put my hook back through. So we're crocheting, well, we're chaining, I suppose, chaining with a capped band. So that's 1. We're going to do 8 of these. 2. So this is just capped bands chaining. 3. 4. This is the optic nerve. 5. 6. 7. 8. So if you are actually wanting to put this as a keychain, I got these little keychain things from my local hobby shop, and they're not very expensive. They're quite cheap. You can put them on the end of a backpack and stuff like that. So all you're going to do, if you want to just tie it off normally, take a single band, pull it through and tie off, you know, one over the other like this, and pull that tight, and then probably just snip the end just so that you've got 2 little bits going through. If, however, you want to do it as a keychain, after you, come on, there we go, pull your single band through like this, okay, but also what you want to do is have it through your keychain, the little loop here of your keychain, okay, so it's on there together like this, okay, one over the other, your band one over the other, and then splay this out and pop the keychain through it so that it is tied on like so. And there you have your little keychain JackSepticEye. Might be quite nice for Halloween, I suppose. I don't know. You can do them any colour. It doesn't have to be a JackSepticEye. You could do, you know, this white and any colour you like. But I just thought this was quite fun. And plus somebody had asked for it. There we go. Take care. Bye.